Welcome back to the most amazing top 10 guys. My name is Danny Berg and today we're going to be talking about the top 10 foods you should never eat again.
Never eat again.
Okay, well, I'm going to level with you guys. They're not going to kill you as soon as they touch your tongue, but we could be all absolutely fine if we never touch them again. They're not very good for you. Is your favorite food on this list? I don't know, how would I know that? I don't know what your favourite food is. Let's find out though, together, as we jump into our number 10, which is frosting. Now I'm sorry to break it to all you baking buffs out there and cake lovers, but frosting is just pure sugar. It actually has more sugar in it than sugar. Okay, maybe not, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but it's still a very high amount. It will actually send your blood sugar levels skyrocketing and send a lot of bad cholesterol your way. If you're wondering whether or not the frosting that you eat is bad for you, then you just have to ask yourself this: do I want to eat my own body weight in it because of how good it tastes? If the answer is maybe, yes, or oh my god yes, then you should probably stay clear of it. Next up at number 9, we have the deep fried Mars bar. Now I'm aware that this is one a lot of people might not have come into contact with, but there's probably a good reason for it, and if you have, there's 100 reasons why you should never eat one again. Mars bars are already one of the most notoriously unhealthy chocolate bars you can chomp down on, and then someone in Scotland during the mid 1990s decided to dip one into deep fryer oil, because why not? Now unsurprisingly, this is insanely bad for you. Just one of them alone is about 1,200 calories, and experts think it actually increases your risk of having a stroke within minutes of you eating one by reducing blood flow to the brain. Don't eat them. They're bad for you, really bad for you. Don't even look at them. I can see you looking at that one behind me. Stop, don't look at it. Coming in at number 8 now, we have pork belly. Now it might look like any other meal out there, but don't let this fool you. It is not lean meat. This is the actual belly of a pig. It's not fat with a bit of lean muscle. It's the kind of fat that a pig has to help it survive the winter. Your average 3-ounce serving of this stuff won't even fill most people up, but it gives you about 70% of your recommended fat intake for the whole day. It's the kind of thing you would eat every day if you wanted to double in size in just a few weeks. It's packed with lots and lots of saturated fats, and yeah, they're not good for you. Next up at number 7 now, we have anything with palm oil in it. Now if you've never heard of palm oil, you probably still eat it. You can find it in so many things. It's in margarine, in cooking oil, in soups and crackers and a lot of baked goods, and even Nutella. Yes, I'm sorry guys, it's true, even Nutella has it in. But aside from it being packed with saturated fats, which are bad for you, there's also a massive environmental issue here. The problem is the plantations on which this stuff is grown require a lot of land, and massive deforestation has happened to keep up with worldwide demand. In countries like Indonesia, Malaysia, Cameroon and Colombia, huge areas are now devoted to growing palm oil, and they've seen forests destroyed, and the animals that live in them, such as the orangutans or Sumatran tigers, are being threatened to the point of extinction. Now personally I'm a sucker for orangutans, so I'm probably going to go and do a bit more research on the whole palm oil thing, find out what it's all about, and you guys should probably do so too. Moving on to number 6 now, we have foie gras. Now if you guys ever find yourself out at a fancy French restaurant, you may very well see foie gras on the menu. You may think, oh, that sounds nice, fancy French name. Well, yeah, but it's really not. Foie gras actually means fat liver, and it comes from the process of sticking a massive tube down a goose or duck's throat and force feeding them. This causes their liver to swell with fat and apparently makes it taste better. Now this all sounds pretty horrendous to you, then that's because it is. Believe it or not, these are actually some of the nicer pictures that we can show you. Most of you guys watching this won't actually live too far from a restaurant selling foie gras, but googling the pictures behind how it's made actually makes most people's stomach turn. Alright, at number 5 now, we have the bran muffin. Now a lot of people in the world will usually reach for a nice bran muffin as their breakfast food of choice, as it seems and looks like a pretty healthy food compared to other options. But there is actually an insane amount of sugar in some bran muffins. If you pick up an apple bran muffin from Starbucks, you'll find it has 34 grams of sugar in it. That's over 4 times the amount of sugar in a plain cake donut. So it's not really that bran muffins are like toxic or unethical for animals, but yeah, you probably shouldn't eat them if you don't want to consume the equivalent of a pack of donuts in sugar. Unless that's what you want, in which case go for it. Alright, coming in at number 4 now, we have microwave popcorn. Now according to the FDA, heated popcorn contains perfluorooctanoic, which is a carcinogen that can cause cancer. I really struggle to pronounce those words. But one study even found an acid in microwave popcorn that is likely to cause cancer in humans. Even the production of some brands that contain a chemical called Diactyl have caused the factory employees where this stuff is made to develop a condition actually called popcorn worker's lung, which is as nasty as it sounds. Now obviously you aren't going to keel over and die after popping a few corns in your mouth, but these studies are causing more and more people to turn their backs on microwave popcorn in favour of popping their own. And I have heard that once you pop, you really cannot stop. Okay, next up at number 3 now, we have table salt. Now as the name might suggest, on most dinner tables out there you can find table salt. One survey actually found that 95% of US restaurants provide it for their customers, but recent research has thrown up some quite worrying points about this stuff. Natural salt actually contains over 80 important elements that are very good for the human body. But the salt actually loses that when it's cooked at 1200 degrees Fahrenheit to make it into table salt. The missing minerals are then replaced with potentially dangerous levels of potassium iodide. Studies have found that table salt causes blood pressure to rise as the heart tries to keep toxins away from it. In the long term, it can even cause serious kidney, thyroid and liver problems, and it's been linked to a whole bunch of other health problems, and many people who have read into it have permanently switch to more natural salt, which can be hard to do because table salt is everywhere these days. Watch out. Alright, moving on to number 2 now, we have leftover rice. Now this one might sound a little bit strange, nobody obviously goes out and orders leftover rice, but a lot of people do end up eating it. Whether it's a curry from the night before or maybe like a Chinese takeout you just couldn't finish, a lot of us do eat it, but you really shouldn't. If you leave cooked rice at room temperature overnight, a bacteria called Bacillus cereus will multiply and spread across the rice, producing toxins that will cause vomiting and diarrhea and give you really bad cramps if you eat it. In fact, the longer you leave it, the worse all these symptoms get, as these invisible tiny spores will be all over your rice by the time you come back to it. So yeah, don't eat it, stay away from it, it ain't worth it. Fresh rice is best rice. And finally at number 1, we have got a pretty wide category. It's artificially dyed food, and there's a lot of it. As a general rule in life, if a food is as neon bright as one of the Teletubbies, you should probably avoid eating it. Americans now eat 5 times the amount of food dye products that they did in 1955, and scientists have already noticed the results of that. Blue dyes found in candy and pop drinks have been found to cause brain tumours and damaged DNA. Green dyes cause bladder tumours, red causes lymphosis and thyroid tumours, while yellow dye can cause pretty much all of those ones we just talked about, as well as asthma, insomnia and quite violent behaviour. There have been studies that even link these artificial dyes to hyperactivity and ADHD in children. Most people are so used to eating artificially dyed food that they sometimes forget it's even there, but it is absolutely everywhere, and the more studies that come out about it, the more people are trying to avoid eating the food equivalent of the Powerpuff Girls. I honestly don't know why I keep making references to kids' TV shows. But yeah, you get the idea. Those are our top 10 foods you should never eat again, but yeah, if you do, don't worry too much, you're not going to die on the spot obviously, but yeah, hopefully some of you guys might be a little bit more aware of what you're eating. I know I am, I'm quite guilty of eating a lot of the things on this list. As always guys, keep the video suggestions coming, some of them have been absolutely fantastic, and if you enjoyed this video, give us a real life thumbs up at your screen and then give us a virtual one by clicking on that like button. My name's Danny Burke, thanks for watching Most Amazing Top 10, and I'll see you guys in a bit.